Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Ready to explore right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. Man, I could listen to that song over and over and over again. It's a good beat, good sound. Happy Labor Day. I hope everybody's doing all right. Hope you guys have enjoyed your day off. If you got a day off, I hope that everything has gone well with you. You know, I've done absolutely nothing today. It's raining over here, so I've just been chilling. Actually, been sleeping. Trying to get caught up on my rest. You know, sometimes you just got to do that. Well, anyways, I decided to get back on here and talk a little bit about bias. I don't know where my. Well, I just knocked it off. Hold on a second. But before I begin that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the bias, and I'm also going to talk about. I'm going to play a little more on the Summer Wells. Um, an interview with her mom that were done very early on because I found one last night that was quite interesting. And last night we were talking about Summer Wells and the situations that are dealing with her. Hold on a second, I gotta turn on the AC. It's getting kind of warm in here. Y'all hold on a second. Sorry about that. Hi Nina, hi Aquarius, how y'all doing? As Nina says, the bias is real. Yes, ma'am, it is. Yes, it is. Nina, you want to come up on panel? I haven't had anybody up here in a while. You want to come up here? Let me put the link up here, and you can come on up. Either you or Aquarius, either one of y'all can do it. There's the link. So if you want to come up, come on up. We'll discuss some of this stuff. Make sure you put your warning label on, because never know what Nina is gonna say, but she always has something awesome to say. That's all I can understand. There is Nina always has something good to say, and here she is. Let me. There you are.
Howdy ho.
Howdy, howdy. How you doing?
I am good. The bias is real.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I haven't had you on my panel in a while. I thought I'd get you up here.
Not since we read poetry.
I know. I was like, what happened? That was such a good night.
I know. I mean, and I was doing so good every day. I was posting a poem and stuff like that. And then
Yeah.
it's like something happened and I got sidetracked. I think that dang Ohio jail story I'm working on came up.
Yeah, life happens. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Life happens. Yeah, I was watching that with that you were presenting the other day. I want to show you how to do the stream. How to
You
how to
like my JL, you like how I do the JLR stuff?
Oh my gosh, I was like, Nina needs to learn how to do this. Do you stream do you stream off your phone or do you stream off a tablet?
Well, see, like right now, I'm on my phone because for some reason on my tablet, the microphone is terrible.
Okay. Well,
And
you see the
so
toolbar right?
I've got my laptop, but if I do it on my laptop, somebody said I need headphones.
Oh, okay. Well, you see on your toolbar right there, as when you clicked in to sign in, it gives you a little toolbar at the bottom. You
Yeah.
see it where it says mic, stop cam,
Yeah.
present. You see the present button?
Nope.
Okay. Do you see the button that says more?
I do. I
Okay,
have
click.
comments, setting, and cancel.
Okay, look at the settings.
I have camera and audio.
Hold on a second. Let me pull mine up because I can't do it just. I apologize, folks. I told Nina that I would show her how to do this, so no big deal. We got plenty of time. So when you came in, okay, hold on. See, I never do it off my phone, so I don't know. I
Now,
don't know.
see on my laptop, I have been in there and I've gone to the present button, and it comes up and then it'll say something like share screen and all that, and I don't know which one to choose.
Hold on. Let me mute myself on this one. That way, I'm about to enter the screen. There's gonna be two 12 gauges. You're in for a treat. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
There I am. Whoa.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Let me look on here. Okay, can you hear me?
I
You're on
can.
mute. Okay, I didn't see where I did that. What I'm gonna have to do,
Well, see, Jeff had suggested. Do you remember the night that I think it was me, you, and Jeff? We went in Streamyard and we were all three in there, but we weren't
yeah,
live.
yes,
That maybe we could do it that way.
yeah, that would be probably easiest because I'm trying to do it on my phone and it's creating a hell of
Right.
an echo.
And see,
So
when we do that, I'll get on StreamYard on my laptop.
yeah, let's do it like that.
Yeah.
Jeff has my email, so just you got a way to send you got a way to get in touch with Jeff.
Yeah, I've got his email, and he said I saw him in a chat today, and he said
Yeah,
that he would get in touch with you and get everybody's schedule, and we'd all get together. I
well, that
mean, you
sounds
know,
good.
it's
That sounds
whatever's convenient for y'all because y'all are doing me a favor.
right. So yeah, just email him and then he can email me and then I'll send you my email address. I just don't want my email address out there
That
public
that works for
because,
me. I understand.
because I've had some issues with my email out there.
Yeah,
But
I understand.
have you watched any of my bias videos, the last two that I've done? Have you watched any of
Yes,
those? What do you
yes.
think about those?
I think they're really good, really good. I mean, because I'm gonna give you a prime example of the bias. I know that I don't know if you know or not. Oh,
Dog
my
agrees.
dogs
The
are
dog
being biased against me. So,
dog approves. Dog
but
approves.
I did a collaboration with Unfiltered Lucky, okay?
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, let me tell you, 900 comments, 850 of them hated me because it didn't go with their narrative.
Right, right.
And you know, and he actually taught me so much about that because I'll be honest, I was like, take that thing down. It's going to have an effect on you with your people, you know. I mean, and he was like, no, you presented well. You were, you know, you did nothing wrong except give your opinion, you know.
Right,
And
right.
he said, so I'm not going to take it down. He said, and he told me, he said, one thing you need to learn is, you know, a comment's a comment, it's engaging, you know. But the thing about it was, you know, they judge based on their, you know, if it doesn't go with their narrative, then they're just biased against it.
Well, one thing that I'm trying to not really push or not even change anybody's mind, but I'm just trying to educate them on the easiness to create a bias. You know,
Exactly.
because we can have our own belief system. There's nothing wrong with that. But whenever you start attacking other people that don't seem to flow the same way as you, that's unhealthy. That's unhealthy and disrespectful. So,
Right. I mean, you know, that's the one thing that even though people pretty much know where I stand on some of the things, I
right.
don't just put it in people's faces. You know what I'm saying? You
Yes.
know, because if you be honest about it, Gage, nobody knows anything
Right.
on any of these cases, you know, unless you were there and you did it or you saw it or you were involved in it, you know, any case in the world, you don't know for a fact.
Of course, of course. I mean, and that's where we get into trouble is whenever we start believing that this makes the most sense. So I'm going to push this with all I am. Like in reality, what does it do to be rude to another person? What does it
Right.
do? I mean, what does it do to say you're wrong, I'm right, you need to shut up, or you're an idiot, or you need to do this, or you need to quit pushing this? I mean, what that do to common decency? What's wrong with being decent? You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. But that's why I
Hang
hang
on,
alone.
I'm pushing my dog. Hang on.
That's why I hang alone most of the time. Let me say hello to Aquarius, Justice, typically unique. Carlos and Kim. I don't know if Carlos is there, but PKC, Paula, and that's pretty much the gist of it. Hopefully, some more people will come on in the chat. It's still fairly early. They usually come in later on anyway, so it's not a big deal. So let's watch a little bit of this video, Nina, and then you can give me your take on it, and then I'll give you mine. All right?
Okay. Well,
Okay.
she was wanting outside. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. No problem. Here we go.
What makes a person buy one car over another? What makes a girl choose which guy to date? What makes people press the buy now button? Charlie Munger, also known as Warren Buffett's former business partner, created a list of 25 cognitive biases that can affect our decisions. Now, not every person falls for all these, and some biases will affect you more than others. But if you master these biases, you'll become a better persuader and become better at preventing impulse decisions that you might regret later. So if you like getting scammed, then don't watch this entire video. Otherwise, let's get started. Now, I personally would separate these into different biases, but the first one is reward/punishment tendency. If you want to persuade people, just offer them big rewards and incentives. Practically everyone has a price. This might seem obvious, but Charlie says every year he realizes how much he has underestimated the power of incentives. So this bias alone is worth spending hours talking about. On the other hand, people tend to flee from punishment. So you want someone to lose weight or to quit drugs? Then start by telling them all the potential health issues. The second is liking/loving tendency. We tend to ignore the faults of other people.
So let's start with the first one, the reward versus punishment. What do you think about that, Nina?
Well, I think everybody. I mean, everybody. Ooh, that's a hard one, Gage. I
Like
mean,
you gave the example, that everybody has a price. You just want to get people to lose weight or quit drugs. You just tell them about the health effects. That's
but is that
partially
but is
true.
that really true?
I was just going to say that. Based on the individuals that I've dealt with, that's never made them stop.
Exactly. I mean, you can. That's the reason I said it's a hard one because being an addict myself, I know the consequences that could happen. Okay, the end result that could happen. But being an addict, even though we know that that's a possibility, the addiction takes over sometimes, and we don't. It won't happen to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, we can justify and rationalize.
And that's why I ask all the time is like, what is people's end game? What is the payoff? Because there has to be some kind of attachment with individuals that come at you sideways about certain cases. There has to be some kind of internal unconscious connection where they're being fed their own narrative in their head and they're going to stand by it. Let's say they've lost a loved one to a murderer, or they've one of their family members have gone missing, or the law enforcement did them wrong, or maybe the government, they don't trust the government. you know um Whatever that payoff is, it might influence their bias when they're speaking on certain things that they don't they don't really want the outcome to be negative. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I mean, the people that come at you sideways like that. See, I don't understand that because anybody in chat or anybody that's ever listened to me will pretty much say that I'm accepting of all of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not going to come at you and say, okay, so you think Joe is completely guilty because, okay? I'm not going to say you're crazy unless I was there and I know that for a fact.
Right, right. I mean, we can have our own opinion, which is based on our reality, whatever our reality is. You know, like I got told earlier in some of the comments, you can just go read some of the comments under the video that I made earlier. And one lady was going on and on and on about Brian's family being a victim as well. And I've always said that. Yeah, they are a victim. They're victims as well. But nobody talks about Brian's family.
Right.
Nobody
Now,
talks about nobody talks about them being a victim. They
and
told me before. Go ahead.
the thing about it is, I totally agree with that. Now, some of the stuff that I don't agree with is how do I put this? Sometimes when the four victims and the four victims' families get talked about or overlooked based on Brian's possibility of end of life. Okay.
Right.
That bothers me because let me tell you why. I mean, I don't want anybody to lose their life,
Of
but
course.
his family can talk to him. Do you know what I would love to hear my son's voice?
Yeah.
He may be 2,000 miles away. You know what I'm saying? It may be once a year, but they do have that chance to hear his voice.
Of course. Of course.
So I think that's where it sort of kind of hits me different. The four victims' families are never going to hear their child's voice.
And I can't imagine not knowing or having people talk so bad about, let's say you were the family, to have somebody talk so bad about you and they don't even know you. They're just basing their understanding of who you are based on what you're saying. It's kind of like somebody was telling me earlier in a comment. They said, well, Steve G and Christy are contaminating the jury pool by interviewing potential witnesses.
Okay.
I watched that interview as well as probably everybody else who streamed it. Nowhere did he say they're interviewing anybody.
See, I'm going to be honest. That is a video that I have stayed away from.
Yeah,
And I mean, it comes up on my feed. It comes up, because I know that there's a lot of creators that, are discussing it, and it's a lot of creators I care a lot about. And I guess because of that, I haven't wanted to form an opinion on it. Um, but them talking about it, I mean, if they're going out and knocking on doors, because like I said, I haven't watched the video or the stream or anything, so I really do not know what's been said that they're doing.
right.
But, if they're going and knocking on doors and saying, hey, what do you think about this? Then yeah, maybe
That's
they're crossing a line.
exactly, and that's totally different than you're in the grocery store and somebody comes up to you and starts asking you, "So, what do you think about the change of venue?" And
Right,
then you ask, "Well, do you think he has a fair trial here in Lighthearted County?" And you're just chopping it up. You're just talking. You're not
right.
really interviewing somebody. You're just talking to them
And,
about a
you
topic.
got to consider that I'm sure that it's really hard for them to go out into public and not be, like you said, at the grocery store or something and get a question asked and it may not be intentionally ask a question. It could just be, oh my gosh, how are you doing? And it go into something, you
This is a
know,
good. This is a good point, Oki. Very few people do talk about the Chapin. The thing that I've heard about the Chapins is they're negative toward the mother for writing the book, for the way she's dealing with her own grief. Xana's parents, I've heard them slam Kara,
Oh
and
my gosh, don't say they don't talk about Xana's parents because Lord have mercy, you know where I've been with that.
and I haven't really heard them talk about Ben Mogan, but I've heard them talk about the
Hat
stepmom.
Rock.
The stepmom.
Right.
So I mean, Ben's the only one that I haven't really heard anything really malicious about. I mean, they brought up his past history about drugs and going to jail, but after that, you just didn't really hear any more. But the others, they just run them through the coals.
Right. Right. And I mean, that's the thing about it is, and my thing about Kara, and I feel like I can say this on your channel, is that my thing about Kara is I don't care if she snitched 400 times. Let's
Yeah.
don't put her out in the public as a snitch with her in general population in prison. That was my only thing.
Well, I talked to Kara very briefly, like whenever she was after she had done the interview with that one creator,
Yes.
Debbie.
Yeah.
And I talked to her on Facebook periodically, not really a lot, but we were talking about addiction and stuff like that, trying to give her some insights or some hope to overcome some of the thoughts, because she said she was overwhelmed with a lot of how everybody wanted to know her take on certain things, and she just as clueless as the rest of us. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
But here she was trying to stay clean while getting bombarded with the memory of her child's death. I mean, you know how hard that is for an addict? Well, of course you do, right?
Yep. Sure
And
do.
no, and
You
I'm
think
not,
that
and
you don't,
I'm not hitting
you,
you below the belt there. I mean,
no, no.
it
That's
just,
what I'm saying is if anybody can sympathize with Kara, it's me.
What'd you say when you opened my door earlier?
Making sure there was two people and two dogs in there. But that's
yeah,
what I'm saying is, if I I think that's the reason I'm not going to say that I've always been protective of Kara, but
mhm,
Kara has never been accepted as a grieving mother.
right,
She's always been outcasted pretty much as a piece of crap that didn't have a relationship with her daughter, that didn't do this and didn't do that. And I want to tell anybody and everybody, I don't care if she had a relationship with Xana or not. When she lost that child, she grieved as a mother. And no, I'm not going to say that. I don't even know if she's had the chance to really grieve,
right.
you know. But, I guess that's the thing about it is ha- for an addict not to relapse during something like that. I mean, come on. I mean, when David died, to be honest, and I can't be this honest with just anybody I like I can on yours, is that if I'd have got high, I wouldn't have been able to get high enough. You can't
Right.
take that kind of pain away. You know what I'm saying?
Of
You
course.
can escape it for the time that you're high. Maybe. I don't know if you could or not. I don't know. I don't know. Not at the time and the way that she lost Santa.
Yeah. I mean, that is totally different than,
Then David.
some other way. No way is a good way. You're going to grieve in your own way. But, you know, so much has been made on her choices
And
when
then
people,
talking about the way that that Stacy Chapin has grieved.
yes,
Who 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 can tell a mother how to grieve? Who can tell a father how to grieve? Yeah, well, my daughter's standing right here. She said, "Who can tell anybody how to grieve?" Because she lost
exactly.
her brother in October and lost her daddy 2 months later on Christmas Day.
I
So
mean, it takes time. It takes time.
But that's what I'm saying is if Stacy's grieving process went through her writing a book and telling her son's story of him growing up, if that was her grieving process, that was her grieving process. That's for nobody's business. That's for nobody's opinion. Grief is personal.
Right.
Grief is, it belongs to me. Your
Okay.
grief belongs to you.
Okie Granny says, I nearly relapsed when my first grandchild died at 2 weeks old.
Exactly. I mean, I'll tell anybody, when I lost David, I don't want to say I'm proud that I stayed clean because that's nothing to be proud of. I should have never been an addict to begin with. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I felt like I had to do it to honor him.
That's understandable.
But in a case like the way Xana, see, David's free will took David. You know, he didn't get murdered. Somebody else chose Xana's end of life.
Aquarius says, when they came in the room and said my granddaughter had a brain tumor a month before her first birthday, the same, I lost it.
Exactly.
Of course you would. One family is too quiet, one family is too loud. All these people think they know the appropriate way, yet they have never experienced it. Or even if they have, Paula, they forget the pain
Yes.
they went through, the uncertainty. There's a creator that talks about losing his son, but yet he is one of the biggest advocates, it seemed, to be tearing down some of the family. I don't get it. And that is the bias that we're talking about. We're talking about that confirmation bias that I'm gonna I'm gonna put you in a spot that I believe that I know about because I've gone through it, but I'm gonna treat you totally different than how I wanted to be treated when I needed people.
Well, that's like there's a creator that made a video about the Chapins and the Laramies are going to be part of the documentary that James Patterson's doing,
Right, I heard.
and nowhere does it say that they are getting royalties or they're getting paid. All it says is that they are going to be what are they called? Where they they ask you. God, I'm blank.
where they
Anyway,
get
they're just gonna.
where they get recognition for their story.
No, they're just going to be there telling them, "Oh no, Maddie would have handled it like this," or consulting.
Oh, yeah, consultant.
They're going to be like, they want them to, they're going to be giving them like that life experience of their child. Who else can do that?
The K family has suffered unwarranted humiliation. We raise our kids, but who knows how they'll turn out? That's right.
Exactly. But that's the
And
thing about it.
instead of celebrating the accomplishment that Xana made through her life with such of the turmoil that she lived through, good God.
And see, that's another thing that made me mad about the accusation of the retaliation is because you've got Maddie and Xana that I'm not going to say Maddie and Xana are getting blamed, but Maddie and Xana were the targets because of it. Okay. Now
Exactly.
that upsets me because that is two girls that have broken that generational curse
Yes.
and they have made it to college, making their lives better. They have worked their butts off to break that generational curse, and nobody understands how hard it is to break that generational curse. To where, as hard as it is, that's the reason I'll tell anybody and everybody I can say beyond the shadow of a doubt in my mind that drugs were not involved. because when you break that generational curse, you're not going to be around the drugs.
Well, I mean, if they were going to be living that lifestyle, like you said, I doubt they would have ever made it into college and stayed very long. Because the lifestyle is so powerful that it takes everything that you try to accomplish
Exactly.
away. The
Exactly.
lifestyle is powerful. It's
And
powerful.
I mean, that's my thing is nobody will ever convince me that, and another thing is, Corey Hatrock was a stepmother. Why are you going to go after the stepchild?
Hmm.
I mean, she birthed her own children. Why didn't you go after them?
Right.
And another thing is if it was retaliation, show me the calling card. If there's not a calling card, then you don't know it was retaliation.
Well, the biases is, if you watch the video on the bias, they talked about the ostrich bias
Right.
where you bury your head in the sand,
Yep.
where you refuse to see any other way presented to you.
Right.
There's the bias where you have confirmation bias, meaning that you are not open to other types of suggestiveness, like I've only watched that video that one time that I played it, so I don't have them memorized, but um it's something that I studied in school as well. So let me see if I can bring that video up because I want to play it again. That
But
one
that's
was a
the
little.
thing about it is, and here's what I'm going to say to anybody, okay?
Go ahead.
Anybody that comes at me with this 100% innocent, okay? Because number one, I can't say he's 100% guilty or innocent. I wanted to be a nudie, but it sounded like I was neutered because, I'd be neutral. But, I could go to bed tonight thinking he is guilty as sin and wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, that person said something that really made me think about it. I mean, but if you are 100% that he's innocent and you're willing to fight like that, when he gets off, are you going to let him come spend the night in the house with your family? I
I've
mean,
always I've always asked the same question.
because if
And
you tell me that he can come and stay with your kids, then okay, but we're going to say you're 100%.
yeah, I mean because look at look at the ability for individuals to blend in. Look at Bundy. You know, look at the clown. They
Yeah.
were able to look at BTK.
Yep.
They were able to just blend in. And do you think that people ever thought, well, that's a serial killer right there? But now that they've been
Exactly.
found, yeah, now that they've been found to have committed those crimes, now people are saying, well, yeah, I saw it. I could have seen it. They were weird. They were this. They were that.
Right. And I mean, and I'll say the same thing to the guilters. Don't
Well,
sit there and tell me,
let's not call names. Just
oh,
say one
well,
side or the other. Because
okay, one side or the other.
yeah,
But,
yes.
whatever your opinion is, you know, even though you do feel like you're 100% on it, that doesn't give you the right to invalidate someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, when we're fighting back and forth over it and everything with the bias, we're taking away that other person's value.
Well,
Because we're saying that their opinion is not as important as mine.
and why wouldn't it be?
Why would their opinion be as important as mine?
No, why wouldn't yours be just as important?
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying is if I'm one of those, that's, oh no, it's my way or the highway, I'm invalidating you.
Well, of course, we all want to be waiting what's presented in court. I mean, we really don't have a choice, but many people they want to already. The thing about it is all the evidence has been collected. If they're still doing investigation, they haven't told anybody about it.
Right,
If they have gathered different evidence, they haven't told anybody about it.
right.
So if they drop bombshells at the trial, are you going to be able to be open minded enough to say I was wrong, or are you going to still hang on to your they lied, they contaminated, they they planted? There's some harsh accusations that are being thrown around.
Oh, I mean,
Well,
the thing about it is, if you really think about it, with the way that some of the narratives are, we're talking FBI, Moscow Police Department, the ISP, the forensics, the kids in school. I mean, just think of the all the people that framed him.
well, let's look at this confirmation bias in amongst other ones. Okay, let's watch it again.
Okay.
Let's listen to 12 gauge.
Hey guys, Practical Psychology here, and in this video we're going to be talking about 12 cognitive biases. Most of these were researched by Ismanoff TV, who has some great animations on topics like these and other self-development topics, so check them out in the description or on the end screen. Now let's get into it. Number 1 is anchoring bias. We humans usually completely rely on the first information that we receive, no matter how reliable that piece of information is when we take decisions. The very first information has tremendous effect on our brain. For instance, I want to sell you a car, and you are interested to buy it. Let's say you ask me what the price is and I tell you $30,000. Now, if you come back a week later and I say I'll sell it to you for $20,000, this seems like a new, very cheap price to you, right? Because your judgment is based on the initial information you got, which was $30,000. You feel like you're getting a great deal, but
And how many times do we fall for this? Whenever we go to the grocery store, whenever we go to a Walmart, a Target, when all you hear is slashing prices, and then you remember what the price was before, and now you have anchored your bias because the original price was 30,000. Now you come back and they say 20,000. So therefore, you feel like you're getting a better deal because the first exposure was at 30,000. So that's what you're basing your price off of.
say the first time that you ask me and I say 10,000, and then you come back the next week and I tell you I'm going to sell it to you for 20,000. Now it doesn't look like a very good deal because of the anchoring bias. This is just a very generic use of the anchoring bias, and I don't want a bunch of comments about why a $30,000 car should be sold for $10,000, but another example is trees. What if I asked you if the tallest tree in the world was higher or lower than 1,200 feet? And if so, how tall? The same effect occurs if I ask you to guess out of thin air instead of giving you an anchor of 1,200 feet. The results are crazy. Number 2, availability heuristic bias. People
So if somebody anchors you with an original statement, then that's what you're going to go with, especially if it has greater value than what you're being presented the next week. So every week it seems like somebody is continuing to change that anchor. Lift up the anchor and go with something else that is presented to see to present itself to be a better value. Does that make sense, Nina?
Yeah, it makes total sense. I mean, because like you said, if you're going to sell me that car for 30,000, and then the next week is 20,000, I'm gonna be like, yeah, he done went out there and hot rodded it and blew the motor up, and now the quality is not the same as it was last week.
So let's look at it with this case. We found out 4 people were murdered in a college house. They had we didn't know about the witness. We didn't know about anything at the very beginning. So that was the anchoring point. And then they kept adding to that. So every week they gave you a little bit more of a value. So here we are, 2 years, almost 3 years later, and people are still giving you these little values But we're looking back in time and we're going, this is just watered down stuff. This is
Yes.
not the original good product that we were getting at the very beginning. And I think that's why whenever people have their bias or whenever they have that anchor bias going on, they have started from the very beginning, they don't like what they hear from these other people because it's watered down and it's not anywhere near what they're speaking about. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yes. Yes. And I mean, at this point, as far as we are right now, just in this case, it's all a mute point because now it's like, and everybody knows that I love Daniel. So Daniel, I'm not throwing you under the bus. But to the to this side, what I'm fixing to say is Daniel trying to solidify his opinion of how he feels, okay, by bringing up, the lab and stuff like that, okay? But then on the other side, you know, people want to talk about, the cash report and, the stuff like that and fight about it that way. And it's like now both sides are trying to bring new anchors in. Does that make sense?
Yes, exactly. But
You
let's
know,
move on.
they're trying, okay, well, I got to prove my point better because they haven't listened to me in 2 years. So now I got to add something. And I'm not saying anybody made anything up. Okay.
Right, right.
I'm just saying that
Overestimate.
it's
Go
like
ahead.
more stuff's getting brought out because it's like people have got to prove. And here's my question is why you got to be right? I mean, when it's over, do you get a prize for saying, I won? He was guilty. I won. He wasn't
I
guilty.
guess I guess it's based on the bias that we're talking about. If you're biased
Exactly.
if you're biased to go to this channel to listen, then they're more credible in your eyes than this channel because
Right.
this channel has been debunked or whatever. So I'm going to go back to the original channel that I used to watch, even though they did some shady stuff. They still brought good content.
Right.
They made it interesting. This channel is boring. It was brand new. It's like watching a different soap opera. You
Right.
know, every season you get these new shows, and they're basically just spin-offs of old shows. So you give them a chance. You give them probably a week or two, and you're like, nah, I'm gonna go back to watch this, even if it's reruns.
Right.
You know?
And that's just
Well,
human nature.
yeah. And the bias is they were cleaning, they were hiding, they should be locked up without knowing how they felt, what they experienced, the hell they're still going through. Exactly. And I pointed this out by some pictures that I'm going to show in this video later on. So let me get on with it.
The importance of information that they have. Let me give you an example here. Some people think that terrorism is the biggest threat to the United States because that's what they see on TV. The news always talks about it, and because of that, it inflates the danger. But if you look at the real perspectives, televisions cause 55 times more deaths than terrorism. Yes, TVs literally fall on people and kill them 55 more times than terrorism. You're more likely to be killed by a cow than a terrorist, according to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. It's more likely to die from a coconut falling on your head and killing you than a terrorist attack. Thank you, Gary Vaynerchuk, for that one. Even the police that are hired to protect you from terrorists, it's estimated that you are 130 times more likely to be killed by the police than by a terrorist. That's because people do not make their decision based on facts and statistics, but usually they make it on news and stories and stuff they hear from other people.
Oh, wow. That was a huge statement right there. They
Yeah,
don't
it
base it
was.
on facts, they base it on news and other stories that they hear from other people. What do you got to say, Nina?
Well, I mean, that was a huge statement because the other day on the Sebastian case, I finally listened to the neighbor that gave an interview, and every other statement was, well, I heard, well, I was told, well, I heard. Bitch, please, you're not saying anything except I heard and I was told. Why are you doing an interview? And it put a lot of stuff out in the Sebastian case that didn't need to be brought out. I mean, she even said, "Well, I heard that Katie was blah blah blah," and I'm not even going to say it. But I mean, that's another thing. That's another bias based on I heard.
Usually, the first thing you hear is what you're going to repeat. Like, have you ever witnessed an accident, a traffic accident, and then people start walking up to you and they ask you, "Hey, did you see it?" And then you start telling them what you saw. And then somebody else walks up and they say, "Well, yeah, but I saw this." And
Yeah,
then somebody else walks up and they say, "Well, I saw this. Well, I saw this." So before you leave, you have 4 or 5 different stories of one incident. It's everybody's confirmation on what just happened.
right,
But who's right and who's wrong, you can't really differentiate between that, right?
right. But I mean, that's just like the eyewitness test that they do. Where you'll be sitting there and somebody will run through and do something real fast, and then each person will give a description. You know, every one of them may be different, but to that person, that's what they saw.
Right. But
You
does that
know,
make what does that make their story?
any
That's a
less
total
credible? No,
right.
because they're telling the truth.
Right. So, but in the true crime, it would be the same way if people would go about it the same way. But
Right,
they want to be, like you said, they want to be right. They want their confirmation to be the end all. Or I can almost tell you the channels where people come and they give me their opinion on what I just created. I can almost tell you, hey, that came from this channel because I was
right,
watching the channel the other day, and that's exactly what the presenter said, word for word. Or this is
right,
the newest stuff out there, so this came from this channel, or this
right,
came from that channel. It's almost like you can tell who they've been listening to, and then you ask them, okay, well, bring some credibility. Show me your work, because in everything you do in life, you're asked to show your work. You can't, even here on YouTube, I can't be presenting this video that I'm presenting right now without giving the original person credit. Otherwise, YouTube's going to copyright me.
That's the reason. Don't talk to me about no dad blame copyright. You knew my video. You knew my live got turned down.
No, I didn't.
Oh my God,
Karma,
karma is a
karma,
bitch. Let me tell you,
karma.
I got a copyright.
Yeah,
The tribute that I did for my son. I don't know if you
no.
saw it. I did a tribute. I used 1 minute of a song, and my whole video got shut down.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah,
And so they luckily they sent me a notice, and I said, "Okay, take that minute out," and they put it back up. But I
yeah,
was like, "Yeah, that was my payback for Gage." But anyway,
yeah,
the thing about it is like that video, I don't know if you saw it that I made talking about we have our own responsibility and accountability. You know,
yeah,
even if even as people in chat, okay, everybody that are in these lives, they each have a responsibility and accountability because even if you're not a creator, do your own research. Do not ever blind follow anybody, because you could be out there saying something that is 100% not true, and because you did not have your own responsibility and accountability, you're out there doing it because you didn't do your own research. You just blind followed.
true, true. Well,
So
let's video.
I'm, it doesn't just fall on the creators.
Right, you're right about the chat as well. Accountability is needed.
Exactly.
So we're
Exactly.
going to go with the confirmation bias on the hearing the other day.
Oh wow.
Even the other day was a confirmation bias for a lot of people. Based on anything you might have heard or seen, that you haven't heard before or seen before, then that is the starting point for your confirmation bias. As it said before, the way you feel about the situation initially, your emotional attachment or your emotional understanding, go ahead and anchors it down for you.
Right.
So everything you hear from then on out, your bias is going to be adding to your initial anchor.
It's way scarier to die from a terrorist attack than a falling coconut. And because of this, usually the news won't cover it because there's not much money in it. Number 3 is the bandwagon effect. People do or believe in something not because they actually do believe it, but because that's what the rest of the world believes in. In other words, following the rest without thinking. If you've ever heard someone say, well, if your friends jump off a bridge, would you? Then that someone is accusing you of the bandwagon effect. It happens a lot with us. I mean, a lot of people vote for a certain candidate in the election because he's the most popular, or because they want to be part of the majority. It happens a lot in the stock market too. If someone starts buying a stock because they think it's going to rise, then a lot of other people are going to start picking the stock as well. It can also happen during meetings. If everyone agrees on something, you are more likely to agree with them on that object. In management, the opposite of this is called groupthink, and it's something companies try very hard to deter. Because if 9 out of 10 people agree on something, but the last person doesn't and won't speak up, it could squelch a great idea. Number 4 is choice supportive bias. So people have the tendency to defend themselves because it was their choice. Just because I made the choice, it must be right. For example, let's say a person buys an Apple product. Let's say it's a MacBook instead of a Windows PC. Well, he's more likely to ignore the downsides or the faults of the Apple computer while pointing out the downsides of the PC. He is more likely to notice the advantages of the Apple computer, not the Windows computer. Why would someone point out that they made a bad decision? Well, let's say you have a dog. You think it's awesome because it's your dog, although it might poop on the floor every now and then. The same goes for political candidates. Not the pooping part, but they both may suck. But one of the lesser of two evils may be more right in your mind because you voted for them. Number 5.
So your car is better than mine because of your supportive bias. So you say that your car is better than mine because of your supportive bias, meaning that even if it sputters and it conks out every third time that you start it, you're still going to hold on to that because more often than not, it gets you where you need to go. It just seems to conk out and do everything that it does around me. So your supportive bias is saying my truck is a piece of crap because it's older, it doesn't, it uses more gas and all this other stuff. Do you see how that works? Hey Jeff, welcome to the panel.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Hi Nina.
Oh, wow. I'm honored.
So am I. So I'm honored to be here with you.
So we're talking about bias.
I have a bias just a little bit.
So 12 gauge, why are you always jinxing my car? Every time you stand next to it, it doesn't run well.
I don't know. That seems but you tell me how awesome of a car you have regardless of the shortcomings. So
maybe it's
I bet my fettuccine's better than Jeff's.
Maybe it's a cologne.
There you go. There you go.
Your fettuccine's better than mine?
Yeah.
Mine is Applebee's, so it's not really mine.
Cheater.
Maybe I could convince people I made it, but then I put it in an Applebee's container.
Oh, well, that would be like lying.
We're sorry to hear that, Paula.
No, I wouldn't do that.
And Kim, I would never see you as being the one that speaks up. Anyways, supportive bias is easy to understand. You know, you say, well, my dog's an awesome dog. It doesn't bark. It doesn't poop in the house. It doesn't do this. But your dog, you're not telling everybody the whole truth because you're leaving out. Your dog tears up everything when you leave. Your dog it runs off the moment you open the front door. You know, you don't tell the whole truth because your supportive bias wants to present that your dog is perfect. That your dog is perfect.
Is that the power of omission?
Yeah. Power of
Yeah,
omission.
see, that would be like my dog doesn't poop in the house. He doesn't tear up anything. My omission would be he's 18 years old.
Yeah.
Now, what would most people do though if somebody did see the poop and then now they're caught in a lie? Now what are they going to do? They can say, "No, that's my poop. That's not the dog's poop."
Oh God.
I might think about it, but I don't think I'd do it.
That dadgone 6-month-old granddaughter of mine.
Right. Hey, typically unique ask Jeff, your mic sounds awesome. I need tips.
Oh yeah. Um, yeah, I used to work at a political consultant, and when I left there, they kind of let me take the mic because I still do voiceovers and stuff for them. But yeah, it's like it's a $1,200 mic. I think that really is what that's the main thing that's going on here. But
Well, my ten
I can
dollar
send you
mic is better than that, Jeff.
your
That's
your
my
mic sounds
supported.
just fine.
There you go. There you go, Gabe.
My supported bias. My supported bias.
His is better because he paid for his. It wasn't free.
That's
Right,
true.
exactly,
Your mic sounds
exactly.
nice. Check one. Check one.
Yes, I'm being sarcastic. You're a wonderful person, Kim. That I can vouch for that, and you have an awesome husband. I like his sense of humor. So
That's
let's
true.
move on to
Yeah, I
number
love those guys.
5. That is so true. It is like anytime somebody sees my phone, I have an Android, and they're like, "Oh my God, you got an Android? Apple is so much better." And they start listing all the greatness from an Apple iPhone compared to the Android. And most of the time, they've never even owned an Android. They're just going based on what the salesperson gave them the sales pitch on the Apple product, the iPhone. So it's interesting whenever we describe something, it's kind of like my car is better than yours because it gets better gas mileage. Well, you're failing to understand it. Your truck might be a V6 and mine be a V8. So instantly, yours is destined to get better gas mileage because of the engine size, the power. It's like, but people don't go with the facts. They go with their opinion. And a lot of that is shown on Facebook.
5. Confirmation bias. We tend to listen to information that confirms what we already know, or even interpret the information that we receive in a way that confirms the current information that we already have. Let's say that your friend believes that sweets are unhealthy. This is generally a pretty broad belief. He will only focus on the information that confirms what we already know. He is more likely to click on videos that confirm that belief or read articles that support his argument. He doesn't go through and type positive health effects of increasing blood glucose levels or positive effects of eating a bowl of ice cream. No, he will instinctively go to Google and type in, how bad is sugar for you? The confirmation bias is very dangerous in scientific situations and is actually one of the most widely committed cognitive biases. Number 6, the ostrich bias. This is the decision, or rather subconscious decision, to ignore the negative information. It may also be an indication we only want to consider the positive aspects of something. This goes beyond not only looking for the positive information, but this is when there is negative information and we choose to ignore it as an outlier. Sometimes, even when we have a problem, we try to ignore it thinking it will go away. Let's say you have an assignment to do. It's not something that you really want to do, so you may just keep on procrastinating with it because your mind thinks that it'll go away or is solved by ignoring it. Smokers usually, they know it's bad for their health, but a lot of them keep ignoring the negative implications of cigarettes, thinking it will not damage them or might stop them before anything serious will happen because they consider themselves an outlier. To avoid finding out negative information, we just stop looking for it.
Of course. And well, I want to back up to number 5. My doctor is the one that tells me about the sweets are bad, so I don't go looking for alternatives on how to lower my blood sugar. I do independent studies by eating more sweets, trying to prove my doctor wrong. Can anybody second that?
Hey, when I was an addict and they said drug test, I'll test any drug you want me to.
I
And I'll
mean,
pass every test.
I guess that's a bias.
yes, exactly. And then we get into the gaslighting portion of these biases, and we'll do that next time. But I want to keep playing this to get through this. It's not even halfway through, so let's continue on. This goes with let's bury our head in the sand because okay, shut so hard unless they themselves had some doubt that the individual is guilty. Okay, whatever.
Number 9, placebo bias. When you believe something will have a certain effect on you, then it will actually cause that effect. For instance, you are sick and the doctor gives you a certain medicine. Even if that medicine does not actually help you, even if it's just made of sugar, you believe that it will help you and it actually causes you to recover quicker. This might not sound very logical, but dozens of experiments have proven this. That's why, if you realize positive people usually have a positive life, and vice versa. The way you think is super important, and we've hit on this in previous videos. For the same reason, a lot of personal development books say that if you really believe something, you will eventually achieve it, or at least find a way to achieve it. Because the placebo effect will give you the motivation that you need. The mind truly is a powerful thing. And this actually isn't always bad thinking. In fact, you can use the placebo effect in our advantage if we use it wisely. There's actually a reverse of this, and it's called the nocebo, and this is when it is negative. Number 10, survivorship bias. This bias is when you are judging something based on the surviving information. Let me give you an example here. There are a lot of articles titled like, 5 things millionaires do every morning. Does that mean doing those things every morning will make you a millionaire? No, there are tons of people who did them and didn't become a millionaire, but there are also tons of people who did them and did become a millionaire. So these articles are primarily based on the ones who survived and reject all other people who did the same thing but did not become millionaires. Another example is to say that buildings in an ancient city were built using extreme engineering because they lasted so long. This is a bad conclusion because you aren't considering what ratio of buildings were built to how many that lasted. You're only seeing the ones that lasted thousands of years of weathering, when the other 90% have already washed away. It's hard to know what you don't know. Number 11, selective perception. I like this one. Selective perception is a form of bias that causes people to perceive messages and actions according to their frame of reference. Using selective perception, people tend to overlook and forget that contradicts their beliefs or expectations. Let's say, for example, you're a smoker and you're a big fan of soccer. You are more likely to ignore all the negative advertisements about cigarettes because since you are already smoking, you have this perception that it's okay to smoke. But if there's an advertisement about soccer, you are more likely to notice it because you have a very positive perception about it. This is actually something really interesting and has to do with how you perceive the world due to your subconscious mind and what it filters out. The last one is called the blind spot bias. If I asked you how biased you are, you would probably say that you are less biased than the average person, and you are more likely to base your judgment on facts and statistics, and that's what's known as the blind spot bias, or the bias bias. You are biased because you think that you are less biased than everyone else. For example, I gifted something to my teacher, and the next week she gave me a good grade on a test. If you ask her whether she was biased when she gave me that grade, the answer will be that the gift never affected her decision when marking my paper. But if you ask her if other teachers are biased when students give them gifts, she will say yes, in most cases. And that's what the blind spot bias is. I really enjoyed creating this video, but most of the content was curated by my friend Ismanov.
All right. Well, let me turn the sound down. That way I can give you. I created the video, so I know what I'm talking on this portion about. I put up this picture and I said, would you believe that there was a bias formed by this picture? Jeff, you first.
How come I stick a breadstick in my mouth and then you say, you first?
Okay, Nina, you first then.
Absolutely.
What kind of bias was formed, do you believe?
All of the above.
Okay. So instantly when you found out, even before this one, they put the one with him in the green smock, the
Yes.
suicide vest.
Yes.
When you saw that one, instantly you either said, that's the guy. I'm curious to know how many people stood up and loudly proclaimed, that's not the guy. He's innocent.
No, that wouldn't be me.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
the first perception, the anchor, so to speak, was that picture. Not this one, but the other one. I couldn't
Right.
find it. That's why I used this one.
And
So
I think too that, I mean, I don't know if it was done on purpose, but if you'll notice how towering over the officers, like in almost every one of those pictures, he is.
mm-hmm.
And some of the officers look like good sized officers,
Right.
But I think that if his first picture had been just sitting down or it's something like that, but something like that, the way that they've got him out front with the others behind him, I think that is a setup.
Do you think
And
that there was a
I
short
think that
photographer?
I think that it's to show his size and how much bigger he is and how to put that thought in somebody's head of how little Maddie could have been or how little Xana could have been, or, you know what I'm saying? The only one that would have even stood a chance would have been Ethan. And if Ethan's in a drunk stupor passed out, then he wouldn't have been a threat. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I think,
I would believe.
you know how they'll take like an object and put it like at the end of a toilet paper roll, and it looks like that object is that little, or you're looking at it through a tunnel or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
optical illusion thing. And
Yeah.
I think that the way that picture is set up with them being behind him and not like right next to him, it makes every one of them look smaller than him.
But even without all that information, because at that point we didn't have it. So
Right.
just based on this picture,
Well, you could have told me to give the short story.
well, based on this picture, Jeff, what would you say? Would you say the camera guy, the short guy? I mean,
Well, I mean, I can appreciate everything Nina said,
mhm,
but I also think that this is a still picture from a video. Well, no, it could be a still, but I mean, we saw the video of the same thing. I think the photographers and the news cameras are probably right there in the same area, so they're kind of
right.
shooting the same angle. But I think it's true that a picture does say 1,000 words, right?
Yeah.
But here's the first thought when you asked me, and I was shoving the breadstick in my mouth. My first thought about this picture is that I believe we as adults are smart enough and equipped to see this picture and say, okay, that guy could be guilty, that guy could be innocent. Let me look further into this case and see what's up. I don't think that we look at it, say he's guilty, and then our minds are set and we'd never be able to change it. We better go to another town, is what I'm trying to say, right? Because, and again, I know I've kind of jokingly said it on a couple comments and in live streams here and there, but it's like, I almost want to say, Anne, believe in your lawyering skills a little more, and also don't consider the people of Latos to be ignorant, that they can change their mind. They don't even need a guy to set up a white table with a sign that says change my mind. We're just capable of doing that. And we set our minds, like if we're doing a jigsaw puzzle and we've only got like a third of the pieces, we're going to say, okay, well, what do you think the picture is? And it's like, okay, well, I'll tell you what I think right now. Okay, here's the rest of the pieces. Put it together. Ah, that's what it is. Ah, you just changed your mind. I didn't know you could do that.
But you brought up an interesting point here. Before I move on to the next picture, I want to say this as well. Thank you for both of your observations. Um, I want to say that the process is all about investigative deduction and inclusion, meaning you deduct information to get a thought and a process, and you include things to get to a common goal. And the jury is not going to instantly go in there with a blank slate. Their brain is not going to be, you're not going to get people that just had a lobotomy that have no clue what
Right.
2024 or 2025 is. They're going to know things. They're going to have life experiences. They're going to be able to assimilate different thought patterns. You can't assume that just because you move it or you keep it, then that's going to be one way or the other. I mean, that's a very simplistic view on the jury, wouldn't you say?
It's almost like what you said makes me imagine them setting up outside a hospital delivery room to get the newest jury members. Like, hey, they just come out of the womb. Okay, they're not tainted in any way. That okay, this will be the next. How many more we got tonight? You know.
I
Right.
think I would choose trial by judge.
Well, that would be an option, but as individuals, even in this chat, even though they might have an opinion whether they feel he's guilty based on the evidence or they feel he's innocent based on the evidence, I bet you dimes to dollars that they could still put their objectiveness or they could put their bias away and go in there and do the right thing for the community, not for the person. And that's
Exactly.
what it's
Yep.
for. It's for the community. It's for the people, not for the accused. And many people get that confused. If they think that the jury is working for the condemned or the innocent. And it's for the community, it's for the people. That's why it's a jury of your peers, not a jury of professionals that are policemen or, judges or other attorneys. They could be, but chances are they're not.
I think people have the potential to do the right thing for one, but then they can also do the noble thing because this is a high honor to be on a jury. I mean, you ever seen like there's a video of a guy that's racing. It's like a foot race, and I guess he could win, but then he sees the other guy struggling, so he stops, helps the guy struggling, and he basically loses his spot in winning the race. But he went. I mean, he. I guess it's kind of like the Cars Pixar movie too, and that's the same kind of thing. The speed goes and helps the older driver. But so I think we. What's my point? I'm even trying to make now. Yeah, we can see we can see with great responsibility or with great power comes great responsibility, and if you are chosen as a juror, that you have some great power, you've got some great responsibility that goes with it. And the only thing I can go on, no, I can't now Ann does a survey and checks out things, and I don't know, maybe did she ever say how many people said they're going to burn the courthouse down? Is it one guy, two guys, a million guys? Numbers seem to be important at the beginning of the process, but once you got this quote from this guy that is very, people going to react to it, it's kind of, I think personally, I think it's overblown. I agree with somebody else who said that. It's just, but again, what is my point?
I don't
I
know.
lost
That
track.
breadstick
I
just
lost track.
took you out, man. All that sugar in that breadstick.
Yeah.
It's hijacking your brain. Paula says, I
Man.
was recently in Moscow and talked to two people, both biased, but only one was biased about BK. See, she's a local, so she probably has the ability to talk to people. Oh my God, you're committing a crime. You better stop it. You're
See, I
influencing
would
local.
if I it, I'll be honest. If I was brought up to be a juror on that, I would have to excuse myself
Yeah.
because number one is I don't know that I could make that decision because like I said, I could go to bed tonight saying he's guilty of sin, but then tomorrow Jeff say something that says, "Oh, wait a minute, let me rethink that." You know what I'm saying? So I don't know that I could make a 100% beyond the shadow of a doubt decision.
And that's why there's deliberation. That's why they go after they've heard everything and they deliberate. Once everybody hears everything, then they're going to have the ability to put their little thinking caps on and go into the jury deliberation room and actually hash it out. Why do you believe?
I have an idea, Gage. Here's you something to do. I want you to get 12 people, 12 people that you know, and I want you to put them on a panel, and I want them to deliberate, and I want you to see how that turns out. I mean, I don't see. I understand that they deliberate and stuff like that, but high as volatile as this has been, I wouldn't want to be in that jury room.
Right. They talked to me. I was just standing there, an example that they're friendly and not total hoodlums like portrayed. I believe the people of Latah County are probably just good, down to earth people. It's just another bias. Everybody there is a member of the Aryan Brotherhood. Everybody there is selling drugs to get by. Everybody there was at that party house one time or another. Everybody is it's one of those words that is absolute, meaning that it cannot be challenged. So whenever you hear somebody say everybody, nobody, somebody, those are absolute words, meaning that no matter what you say afterward, they've already made up their mind that this is unchallengeable. So let me go on. Look at this picture. Jeff, you're first. If you
Okay.
were just to see this for the very first time, and they were to tell you this is Brian Koberger and he's accused, he is the defendant, What's he look like right here? What could he be? What
He could,
profession?
yeah, if you weren't paying attention, you think he's the attorney for the defendant that should be walking in the door shortly after, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Which is a point that I made, I think, recently. The thought came to me. It's like, the people are going to have a perception instantly just because of where you sit in a courtroom. That attorney is going to be judged by the fact that they're sitting where they are. That's an attorney. Whatever biases or opinions I have about attorneys have now, boom, light switch came on. I'm thinking about them. There's the prosecutor sitting over there. Up here, that's the defendant. That's got to be the defendant. Instantly, the gears are turning in the mind. Just because of where you sit. So I've jokingly said, maybe they should sit him, if they're that concerned, sit him up next to Judge, right up there, and just do the trial, have the trial go like that. I'm kidding, of course, but what I'm trying to say is just we're judging based on things, just a moment's view, and I know there's other things too. I'm not ignorant to think that watching mainstream media, watching whichever side of the YouTube community you're watching on this case, because you get both extremes, and they are extremes. But again, all the things I've heard on either side, pro burgers or guilters.
Let's not name call. Let's not name call. Let's be bigger than that.
But no, I didn't call anybody names. I'm just saying of the categories that are.
There
you go. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I think, I personally think I do agree with Nina. It would be difficult. It'd be hard to be on a death penalty jury. That is really rough. And I just can't imagine, of the 25,000 potential people that they have to choose 18 out of, which I agree with Steve Gonsalves. It's possible. It's possible to find 18 impartial people, but I would say that probably the majority of those 25,000 people would not feel comfortable if they had any idea that they're about to say guilty to someone who, in the back of their mind, they feel, maybe he's not the guy. I've even said that I think Steve Gonsalves would stand up in the courtroom and say, after hearing guilty, and if he believed that, like, no, this is not the guy, he would stand up and probably get thrown out of the courtroom. He's like, that is not the guy. This. Nobody takes any satisfaction from sending the wrong guy to prison or death. That is not going to help anything. Nothing brings the kids back, and it definitely is just like that. Nobody wants that. Nobody.
Right. Paula says, I've talked to more from Boise that think he is guilty than people from Moscow. Go ahead.
The thing about it is what I've always said as far as, justice for the poor, there's got to be justice for him too. If he's not guilty, I don't want him to be found guilty, because now we've got the real one out on the street still. If he didn't do it, then let's put a rest to it and get the one that did do it, so there'll be some kind of safety.
If it really does go down that way, I would find it very interesting, because I would wonder, from his experience, the education he's got, would he step up and say, "Hey, it's clear now. Y'all believe I did not do this, but I'm going to help you with finding." Finding the real person. But
so when you saw this picture, what did you think?
Heartbreaking.
Okay. So it's a picture that pulls at your heartstrings, right?
Yes.
Definitely.
So this gives you a connection to the crime.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's the bias that this picture is meant to do. Jeff, you're a photographer. And just like Nina was saying, you use different angles for different things, kind of like the rifles that you were shooting a couple of weeks ago with the camera.
You were photographing.
Yeah, you were photographing. Strategically, strategically you were placing the light where you could get the best value of the shot, correct?
Right. Yeah, you try to control as much as you possibly can, and a lot of things are out of your control. But yeah, you're making decisions on how to frame it. You know, how far back, how far to zoom in, all that.
So
Different.
would you say that this shot right here was to give you an intimate closeness to the crime?
Yeah, I mean, because you know, if you've given a choice of this window and then I think the window next to it, maybe there was some things in it, but maybe there's nothing in that window at all. I mean, this window clearly, you know, conveys something that the other window doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the letter M in the boots. I mean, that is very strong, especially if you know you're aware of of the case and you know that that's Maddie's room, and you have that understanding.
And the picture has even more tug at my heartstrings when you see videos and pictures of her wearing those boots.
Mm.
Here's one more. Let me get 12 gauge out of there.
That one tells me arrogance. No, I'm joking.
Oh wow, nice. I own it. I own it. Here we go. Here we go. Let's listen to Xana.
Couple things down here, including Vandal Solutions. Last year I did Clues Properties. I was an associate with them, and I basically just worked with Clues Properties and did advertising for them, did sales events, etc. And this year I'm doing sales, so I'm a sales associate. So basically I just call people around Moscow, ask them if they're interested in our business, etc. But yeah, I'm a junior here, so it's really exciting. I love it at the University of Idaho, and I'm super excited to be in this marketing class because it's basically my major. And this is actually King Street, where I've lived the past 2 years, and I really like just hanging out with my friends all the time and being super involved in school events and everything else. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me, and I'm really excited to take on this course.
So what would that video convey to you right off the bat?
Proud mama.
Proud mama.
Well,
Jeff?
definitely, I'll try to play the like some that I've seen. They would say, "Well, that's clearly a drug cartel member right there."
Exactly.
Right, right. But no, I agree. This is She sounds confident. She sounds like she's not thinking about the next party. She's thinking about after college, what she's going to do. She's going to be a success. She's also representing her Steelers team. She's got a great smile. She got great energy. And damn if it isn't just bizarre how that camera, it's almost like I'm going to do this camera move because in the future we're going to be examining the skid marks on that road. I mean, it's so wild that when things like that happen. Because if you were to watch that video, the day after it was shot, I mean, you watch it with very different eyes than today.
Oh yeah. I mean, y'all seen the video of the party that is the exact 1 year date. It's 11/13/21, and they're having a party. And man, you sit there and you go, exactly 1 year to the date. I mean, and they're in there and they're just having a party, and everybody's having fun. And I mean, it's 11/13/21.
One thing I noticed what the music was playing.
Yeah.
Do you think that music was playing at 11:22, or do you think it was coming from Linda Lane,
I
100
think it
yards
was
away?
coming from that big tall JBL speaker in the back.
You think so?
Yeah, that one, you could see from the college.
Yeah. Okie Granny said he's going to have to get out of town quick if he's found innocent.
I honestly believe that.
I
Now, why do
believe
you believe that, though?
Not for danger.
No.
No, I think y'all have heard me say it several times. And when I say his life's over, I don't mean like over, But either way, his life's never going to be the same. I mean, even if he's found innocent, I don't think that he just picks up and goes on with life. I mean, it may mean name change. It may mean,
Well, I was just going to say that he would have to get reconstructive surgery. He's recognizable all over the world. I mean, his picture has been plastered everywhere. So those eyes alone will
unless
show.
the eyebrows.
Yeah, I mean, in one
He
of
would
those
have to.
pictures,
He would have to invest in some tweezers.
he looks like David Hasselhoff when he's younger.
Yeah, I can see that.
But what were you going to say, Jeff? You don't believe that he needs to get out of town quick, or what?
Well, I think it all comes down to being found not guilty, and then being believed not guilty. That's what he needs is both. I know it doesn't always happen. Like O.J. Simpson, I don't think still people split. George Zimmerman case, people split. Now Jodi Arias, I think that's now, of course, that was a guilty verdict, but I think most people. But she's still got a following. People don't believe that she did it for the wrong reason. They understand. They believed her story of why she
I
said
mean,
she did
Casey
it. But
Anthony was found not guilty, and there was a lot of evidence that pointed to her guilt. They didn't
But
burn.
see, I can also understand that verdict.
They didn't burn the courthouse down, or and she supposedly murdered her own child, which
But
is
the way that her lawyer played that is he
yeah.
put enough doubt, even though it was crazy doubt. It was enough doubt that they had to do the right thing.
Have a great night, Rondi. Thank you for being here.
good night, Randy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
By saying that the daddy found her in the pool or, something like that. I mean, that's enough doubt because, people are like, well, it could have really happened like that.
Yeah, that's true, Paula. I think it's the brow bone more than the eyebrows. He could shave the brows, and the brow bone would still be prominent.
This is true.
Yep, yep. I think that's what's going on. But I think if he can leave,
It'll be tough.
not guilty, and people believe he's not guilty, I don't know if he's got lawsuits for what he's gone through. Definitely, probably has book deals. Um, things could go in a positive direction. But again, it's all about like does a good majority believe? Yeah, okay. Like right now, I tend to lean towards I think law enforcement got it right or is getting it right. In
That's
the
what
end, if he's found not guilty, it's going to behoove or it's going to benefit Brian the most if the public and everybody believes that he's not guilty. All it
I
takes is
think
Nancy
there's
Grace to come on there and say we were wrong. That's all. That's
I
all.
think I think there's going to be a big difference between being found innocent and proven innocent.
Right. Now, if there's more proof that he potentially was guilty and the jurors found him not guilty, I think that'll be more of a conspiracy minded people will jump on that
Mhm.
because of their bias.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing that I do hope. Either way that it goes, I hope that it is a firm, you know, okay, I can see that. Where I'm like Jeff, I lean in the direction of they've got the right person. Now, if after the trial I sit here and I say, man, they definitely got that all wrong, and I can firmly say that, you know, but if there's like that little inkling of, wow, they mucked that up. I mean,
Let's fast forward to future crimes, okay? Because there's going to be future crimes that are just going to be as controversial. Do you believe that this particular crime has set a preference for the way people view either the police or they view the investigative process? They believe in the cameras or they don't believe in the cameras. Do they believe in the DNA or do they not believe in the DNA? Do you think that this case has set a preference?
On the IGG, I think it definitely has.
Okay. How about you, Jeff?
Um,
Um, yeah, I don't know. I imagine a little bit, and probably, definitely as the trials, as everything's still fresh, as time goes on, I think then it'll probably be most people will just lean on their own experiences that create their biases, and I mean, like I had a bad experience with a police officer that just looked me right in the eye as he watched a drunk guy walk down the sidewalk, and as they arrested my friend, who I was the designated driver for. And my friend was just a little bit tipsy. This guy, they saw him. He pulled up to the curb in front of the bar, went up on the curb with the back wheel, came back down, parked crooked, got out, and they were in the process of arresting my friend. And this drunk guy walked right up to the cop and said, "Hey, what's going on?" And the guy said, "Keep walking, buddy." And I
I
went over
think
to the
that was
cop.
a bias.
I
I
went over
think
to the
that was a
cop.
bias.
Well, you know what it was also. I think in that community right there was a bunch of complaints about this bar. They had a couple rookie cops that were, you could tell they were young. When I saw them, they were undercover young cops sitting at the bar. And I remember telling all my friends at we were like at a restaurant type table. I was like, guys, those people keep looking over here at our table. I didn't realize they're cops looking at my friend that he's planning on arresting. I said, maybe they want the table. We're done. We finished eating a while ago. Let's go. The moment we hit that sidewalk outside, he was placed under arrest. But I went up to that cop and I said, "You're arresting my friend who's got a designated driver. We're being very responsible. And then you let that guy that's clearly drunk just walk on down the sidewalk." And he looked me right in the eye and he said, "What guy? I didn't see any guy." So, I mean,
Yeah.
an experience like that for some could taint the way that they view law enforcement. But again, I mean, I've had the same Alfredo, chicken Alfredo from Applebee's sitting in the restaurant, and it wasn't that good. So am I never going to order from Applebee's again? And because of that one bad experience, I might as well go to extremes. All Applebee's Alfredos are bad. And it was this was perpetrated by a chef, so all chefs are bad. So all restaurants are out. I mean, it would be good for me because I would probably just start doing my own.
I mean,
cooking,
but
which
that never stops, and that's even though you're trying to be a little sarcastic there. That is a great example because it never stops. It always continues going. And I made a point in my video earlier how some creators they never have anything positive to say about the other side. It's always this case doesn't make sense. There's something weird going on with this case, or there's something that just doesn't add up, or it doesn't make
Mhm.
sense. It's like, does anything ever make sense in your life? Do you ever have anything positive happen in your life that you're happy about? Are you happy at all off camera, or is everything in your life never making sense at all? Like, the dog comes to jump on your lap, and you're like, well, it doesn't make sense why this dog would want to jump on my lap. Something is nefarious about that. And I mean, but do you get my point there, Jeff? It's
Well, I think it's the desire for explanation. Explanation is a wonderful thing when you can get an explanation and understanding of something. Because when it's just left where you're just saying it doesn't make sense, and you're saying make it make sense, and that's a terrible place to be. I mean,
right.
when you can get that explanation, which I think that's what I'm always searching for. I'm not searching for, well, if I want to find out the thing that supports my current theory so that it sticks. I don't want to change, and I'm sure that other guy's wrong, and I'm going to prove they're wrong. No, I want an explanation of something and that's what I think the news media loves. They love a story where it splits the public in half with their opinions on what they perceive is happening in this particular instance or story or whatever it is, and there's not any way of finding out the truth. At least now, that they probably have meetings about like, okay, when will they find out the truth? Oh, it's not going to be for like 7 months. Okay, let's run with this story. This will give us 7 months of, the people arguing about something that they can't figure out for 7 months. That's good. That's good for our advertisers. That's good for, you reporters. You want keep your jobs, right? I mean, you can't have a job if there's nothing to report.
That's true
There's,
right there, Paula. If the possible evidence was put on display for the world to see, there would be no need for a trial, and it wouldn't be a fair trial at that. So the gag order is indeed a good thing, but at the same time, people are trying to find out what they don't know. And in the process, they're alienating a lot of people from them.
oh, Paula asked a question I didn't answer about whether my friend looked like he had more money than the drunk guy.
No.
But no, he was just a skinny mechanic looking guy. I think he probably had greasy clothes. And the other thing too, after they arrested him, they found out that we didn't even know this until they told us. But I remember him talking about how he liked the glass that he drank from in the bar. We had no idea he was going to stick it under his coat and walk out with it.
Oh,
So he
wow.
also, so they also got him for for stealing a glass. But
Wow,
but yeah,
Nina
I
jumped
can't really
down.
remember the guy that was drunk. I think he was he was probably like maybe 60. I think he was kind of short with black hair. That's all I really remember. But I was just amazed how he went right up to that cop, and then my other friend that was with us, he wanted to go and just yell at the cop, and I was like, come on, man, really? You're just trying to make this night even worse. I mean, we already got flames. Put that gasoline away.
Right, right, before we all go to jail.
Yeah.
Nina jumped down for a minute. She said, I'll be right back. So Nina jumped down and took half the viewers with her. So hope she
Oh
comes.
man, Nina, how could you?
No,
Did she
they're
have like
slowly.
a? She had like a little flute, and all the mice were following
Yeah,
her.
there you go. There you go. No, but I mean, it's interesting to talk about this stuff. I mean, um, eventually one day this trial is going to be over, and then what are we going to have to talk about?
Yeah.
Are you
You know
gonna
another thing.
are you gonna jump off YouTube once that happens?
No, I'll find something. If there's no cases, I'll probably steer more towards guitar stuff. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure Kathy would like it if I just stopped doing YouTube.
Well, I mean,
Something that just occurred to me that I never ever thought of is that I mean, I know I can always tell you all kinds of things that my religious faith and practice has done to change me or to benefit
mhm,
me. But, when you start talking about like, details that you believe about God or Jesus, you're talking about something in a similar vein. You can't prove it. You won't prove this is much longer than 7 days, 7 months, like the example I was given before. So I wonder sometimes if that's not if that isn't doesn't explain because I don't really get that upset with other people that are of a different opinion, even if they start talking bad about my mother and throwing this word at me and that word at me. Um, that's their choice. They're choosing their words. I'm choosing my words. And but I think when you kind of have a regular, and I'll reveal something too. I mean, I'm I grew up didn't grow up in church. I found church as an adult, but my experience was of the Baptist persuasion because my neighbor was a pastor. And that's
right.
where I started into it. I started learning. I started reading the Bible. I started getting an understanding. You kind of learn the language of people with faith because to a lot of people I think it just doesn't make any sense, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" That pastor in Moscow, I wonder sometimes if he isn't just victim of the words he uses. Like church people would be like, "Oh yeah, I know what he's talking about," but people that aren't church people would be like, "Oh my gosh, he sounds like a fanatic." Oh, and now he's got a flamethrower. Are you kidding? Oh my gosh, he's a nut. Um, but I think I mean, but so I go to an LDS church um, just about every Sunday, but I'm not a member, and I have strong opinions about it and the differences, and and I tell you what, I love the conversations. They see things a certain way. I see things a certain way, and we discuss them, and we discuss them calmly. And and when we, again, every time I say, we agree to disagree, hug it out. Let's talk again tomorrow. No hatred, no animosity, no using the word idiot, nothing like that.
Well, you and I have talked about these topics a lot. We've talked about these topics off camera, on the phone. I've always found it hard to care about anyone's opinion of me. The only opinions I care about from the people in my everyday life.
That's good. That's
Well,
good
hi
stuff.
there, Truth. I saw
Good to see you.
you on. I saw you on another panel the other night. Um, you were discussing some of the past with DJ about another person, and I was like, "Oh, I remember that episode. I remember the episode she's talking about." Everyone believes in a different beginning and end. Religion is all the same. Hey, Kim French. Welcome to the chat. I've never seen you before. Welcome. So I'd like to welcome new people in the chat.
I like that last name, French. And when I was a kid, there was, what was it? The show called Family Affair. And Mr. French was like one of the main characters on that show.
Who says I don't like you? I've never said that ever. I
Who doesn't?
respect Truth. She
Oh, Truth
claims
said,
that I don't like her, but it's cool. Oh my God, you're sounding like somebody else I know. Stop it. I
hey,
don't know you.
is that
You were on a panel talking about a person that was on DJ's panel that had affiliation to something, and he stated that he stood behind his tattoos and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, so I was listening to that.
Now, I'm always trying
I've
to
had
understand the
you.
word gaslighting. Is that a form of
Yeah,
gaslighting? Is it
yeah,
Gage?
that's
I know you don't
gaslighting
like
right
me.
there. You're trying to gaslight me. Stop it. I do like you. I respect your opinion on a lot of things. You're very knowledgeable on a lot of things. Whether I agree with everything, you don't agree with everything I say, but I've always had respect for you, you know.
And there's not nearly enough words that start with the letter X. So I think it's cool to add another one.
Yes. Yes, and exposed is pretty transparent. That speaks a lot.
French's
New
mustard.
here,
Yep.
found you all tonight. Own French and mustard. Just joking. Hey, that would be cool though. I like that mustard. Oh yeah, you said that in the live chat. That's what I meant. No, I guess I misworded it wrong. I was saying that, the person was on the panel. What? I'm confused now. But anyways, I guess you were in the other person's live chat. You were in Robert's live chat, possibly. I don't know. One of them was you were
Hmm.
in their chat. Yeah, yeah. It was one of their chats, and I was listening or I was watching the chat because sometimes I do that. Sometimes I don't chat. Sometimes I just read the chat. You ever do that, Jeff?
Yeah, sometimes. I also kind of consider like how much time I have because everybody I encounter in chats are all great, and if I say one thing, everybody says hi, Jeff. I mean, I feel like Norm on Cheers. You come through the door and say, "Hey, Normie."
Yeah. Where everybody knows your name.
Right, right.
And it kind of takes the attention from what the presenters are trying to say, right?
I think if you do it wrong, yeah, but it maybe can be a little,
Yeah.
you know. Thankfully, it's like you don't. There's no sound that comes with the chat interaction. Could you imagine? It's like, can you guys keep it down over there? Oh, just saying hi to Jeff. He just walked in the door. You didn't
Yeah,
say hi to him.
that would be terrible, man. We're up here talking, and all of a sudden you hear, "Hey Jeff, hey Jeff, hey Jeff, how's it going?" You're like, "Oh my God, I'm out of here."
Jeff, tell us a stupid dad joke. Okay, I got one. I got one. Hold
Yeah,
on.
exactly. 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 You see it, right? You see it, right?
You see it. I see it.
The shower curtain has arrived. You know, hey, you need to put your emblem on a shower curtain and put that on your merchandise, bro.
Yeah,
Get like a white shower curtain and put Jeff 8 the guitarist, your emblem on it.
I should. I should.
Hey. No, but I mean sometimes I go into chats and I just read along. I don't want to you know, it's like you said, you go in there and people start saying, "Hey, 12 gauge, hey, 12 gauge, blah blah blah," and I feel bad because I'm like, man, I was just trying to creep in here,
Right, right. Now you know what it's
Before I
like to be
had no
famous.
problem. Before I had no problem. I would walk in anywhere and be like, hey, chat, crickets, nothing,
Yeah.
not hi, not get out of here, loser, nothing. It's like walking into a man haters club, and you're the only man, and there's a whole room of women that don't like men, and it's hey gals, no
Right,
nothing,
right.
you know. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, a shower curtain. There you go. So yeah,
Hippopotamus. Shower curtain.
yeah. I was watching this thing the other day. This guy has a channel, and he does shorts, and he like cooks steaks in front of this pit bull, and he had the pit bull dressed up in a tuxedo, and like the pit bull will sit there and just stare at the steak as it's cooking, and he's like adding tomato slices, like tomatoes and onions and sauteing it, and the pit bull like literally sit there and refrains from grabbing that piece of meat, and it's a
Mm,
thick piece of meat. You'd think that dog would just be like, "Man, I'm gonna grab this meat," but he doesn't. He looks like a human. He just sits there, and just kind of licks his lips a little bit, and just chills. And I'm like, and then he cooks it all the way, and he cuts the dog a piece, and the dog doesn't even. You know how most dogs they jump at you when you give them a piece of meat or something. This dog waits for the fork to, he'll open his mouth a little bit and he waits for the fork to go in and chews it like a chews it like a human. It's so cool to watch.
hmm. Yeah, you know, with Nanook, it's the same kind of thing. He understands like the word stay, and
Yeah,
so I can set anything in front of him, like put it right at his nose and say stay, stay, and he'll just look at me. He's waiting for the moment where I say good boy, and then he can have it. But I think
yeah,
it also I when I think about that, it makes me think that there's two ways of like training and raising a dog and treating people, and it's like Nanook is. I'm not keeping it from him, and he's not thinking I'm an evil person because he knows good boy is coming after that. Now
right,
I could hold it in front of his nose and say, "Don't you dare take! I'll smack you. I'll hit you in the head or whatever." And
right,
then
right.
that could be the motivation to not bite it. But that's not the case with Nanook, and he is such a loving dog. Every morning I come down, I see him down at the bottom of the steps. I sit on the top step, and he runs up the steps and meets me on, and just it's just a beautiful thing. Every morning, every night, I say goodnight to him, and I rub his head for like about a minute, and you can see him. He closes his eyes like, oh, that feels good. That feels good.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I mean,
I do
dogs
that
are dogs
religiously.
are interesting, man, because they look at you with that innocence that it's like, please don't hurt me, just love me, just love
Yeah,
me. Don't hurt me. Just love me. I need a little attention. I'm feeling a little lonely right now. Just give me something to
yeah.
eat, something to drink, and let's go play. You know?
Yeah, I think it's when I discovered that he desires that like good boy that because when
Yeah,
we first got him, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was getting a little nervous because when he would jump up on me and bite my arms every day, I had bloody arms. I was like, I don't want
yeah,
to have to think about getting rid of this dog because he's out of control or what's going on. And yeah, it was actually my wife was the wise one. She's like, maybe don't go with the because when he's starting to bite you, what's your reaction? You can pull away and act
Right,
like you're gonna
right,
smack. I raise my hand like I'm gonna smack him. It's like no, but
right.
nothing is gained at that point. The thing that is started to be gained was when I'd say, no, and I just turn my back on him, ignore him. You're like you said, he wants attention, and then the pattern, you set the pattern of like good boy, and then that's all you need. It takes a little while, but once you're there, you know.
Right. I mean, that's interesting that, we're talking about the dog, and I'm going to show this video. I haven't shown it in a while. I bet you know which one I'm talking about because I love this video for some reason.
You might actually hear the dog bark in a second. He's encountering the cat.
Yeah, I'm probably going to trigger a lot of dogs with this video. See, doesn't that golden doodle have a deep bark though? I mean, or is that just me? Is that a deep bark for a dog, or is that kind of normal?
Yeah, that did seem kind of on the lower side. I
Yeah.
saw a dog that looked just like that inside a gas station, in a like the little convenience store inside.
Hmm.
Smaller, but and I just couldn't resist. Like, it's like barking and barking. And we've talked about this so many times about golden doodles. That's what I was sure it was a golden doodle, but I went up and
Yeah.
asked the girl what it was, and she's like, it was like just some kind of poodle. But
Well, my brother he lives like next door, and he has a little dog, and that's the dog that you always hear in the background because he we kind of share a big yard, and he comes through the backyard, and he'll be right there by the gate, and I'm in the computer room, and he's downstairs, and he's barking his head off.
that's you said your cousin,
My brother.
your brother. You and your brother share like a fence or yard or
Yeah,
that's
we
cool.
share. We bought like two houses next door, and we tore down the middle fence, and it's
Ah,
a great backyard for the dogs.
yeah. Oh,
Because
that's very smart.
he has a bull mastiff, and then his kids have some dogs, and they have the little dog, and but the bull mastiff it's a female, and she's huge, man. She doesn't like anybody but the family, so she's totally different from the other bull mastiff. The other bull mastiff was one big clumsy playful dog, man. Like you could come up to him, he wouldn't snap at you. This dog, they're not supposed to be snappers, but this dog will snap at you, man. I don't know if it's because of the female in the dog. I don't know if that makes a difference. I don't have a clue, but you know,
Hmm. Does your brother teach the dog to go poop on your side?
he does. Yes,
Does
go
he?
over there.
That's what brothers are for.
I know, brothers. You gotta love them. But you know, Heather says, "What are you saying? Females are b words." No, I'm just saying that this dog is a female. It's a bull mastiff, and she's tiger striped, kind of very pretty, but she just very protective of her family. And I've heard that about that that type of dog, but they're supposed to just kind of pin you against the wall. They're not violent, like they're not biters. You know what I mean? So the first time that dog snapped at me, it like jumped in my face to snap at me. It kind of, I didn't flinch, Just kind of took it like a man, just stood there and gave the dog the side eye, the superhero way. So, has your dog ever snapped at you, Jeff?
You know, just like maybe I think there's just maybe two times that I can really think of, and they weren't really his fault. Like one time we took him to it. They bring this van and they park it up to CVS. When I said van, all of a sudden I could hear you were right up on the back of that van, man. You know what that quote's
Mm-hmm.
from? You do. You see it, right?
I can't
But
think of it
the
right offhand.
that's the
Huh?
that's the Indiana traffic stop for Brian Covert. um,
Oh.
but the
Oh,
but
okay. See it
so
already
no, the
shifted.
van came up. They gave him shots, out in the parking lot, basically, and he was, they wanted to muzzle him, and because they were a little afraid of him. But I was trying to help, and I had my hand in his mouth like I always have had before. I didn't even think twice of it. But when he was scared, man, he bit right into my palm, and my pinky was on my the guitar hand, the fretboard hand. That pinky was like, it's still not quite like it used to be. It's still a little something going on, but and then I
Man.
think there was one other time where it was kind of a misunderstanding. He just got scared, and he and you can tell he's like, I think that second time I remember him being. You could tell he's like, he can't speak, but he can. He was very apologetic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, Latina. They don't want any kind of nonsense around them at all. They're very protective. And that's a good thing. I mean, that's why individuals have them to protect the family. I get it. Jeff, have you seen those videos where they show that the Venezuelan gangs are like kicking in doors and violating homes and all this? Have you seen any of
Mm.
that?
Yeah, it's
There's
usually
these
like a group of like four or five of them, and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and they're like, they're being caught on ring cams and stuff, kicking in doors, and there's a couple homeowners that have fought back and shot back.
yeah. Is that? I know I saw like a sheriff or a police representative basically saying they condone the idea of shooting. Um, they're very welcoming of that.
Hold on, I'm gonna play the video for you. I know this is kind of shifting gears where we were talking about dogs, but I was thinking about the protection that a dog brings. I mean, if you had a big dog behind this door and these people broke in, they'd be in for a world of hurt, I would think.
The city nonprofits have lined up to help the migrants that have come here, but nobody is helping the American citizens, the residents that are trapped in these apartment complexes.
I mean, that is sad. That wasn't the one that I wanted to show you, but have you heard of any of this, Jeff?
No, not really. No, that's a new one on me. I was thinking I might have seen some, like they were like young kids in New York or something, like just going into somebody's house and.
Let me see if I can find the video because I've seen a lot of them on TikTok. I don't know if there's any here on YouTube, but they're mostly on TikTok. What would you do if you caught somebody trying to kick in your door? Would you, is your state, can you protect yourself?
Um, I think so. I'm not sure.
Is it a
Or should
stand your
I?
ground?
Yeah, I'd have to look it up. To be honest with you, I'm not sure about that. I might have to say hello to my little K bar.
I mean, it's always nice to know because
Yeah, let me
your
see.
stand your ground. There's some states that you can't do anything. Um, you can't do anything until you're actually confronted with something. Like, but
Huh? Virginia does not
other
have a
says
stand your ground.
other says Ohio has stand your ground. When he opened the door and scooped up the damn Huggies. What? Oh,
Yeah,
raising Arizona.
we're talking about my quote on my picture.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the best movies out there.
Yeah, the one that I got copyrighted the other night on. Yeah.
That's how good it is. It's so good.
Yes,
It'll.
exactly. Man, I go back to work tomorrow, Jeff. I'm not even ready for all that, man.
Oh no. Well, you got
Not even
new
ready.
shirts to wear, right?
Oh yeah. I'm not even ready for all that. Like we had a 3-day weekend. Well, actually, almost 3.5 days because I got off at 2 o'clock on Friday, so 3.5 days.
Yeah.
You get used to not going to work, and then all of a sudden here it is. So you
Yeah.
have any project coming up? Anything going on?
Yeah, I'm working on a couple things. There's a political race for a guy running for reelection, North Dakota.
Hmm.
A couple of the little projects. One in Arizona. Yeah, it's kind of cool. They're people that I used to work with when I was working full
When you
time
were
and a
fed,
political consultant. When I was a Fed.
when you when you were fed.
Oh yeah, why my avatar is not wait, is it still there? There we go. Yeah, I forgot about that.
You're fed, Jeff.
I'm Fed. My name Fed.
Wow. Hey, truth exposed. You notice anything different by your name?
What's different? Is it,
I don't know. Letter type something. Jeff is a 3-letter agency. It's like FBI,
it's
huh?
a 3-letter agency? CIA,
Yeah.
FBI. Um, what are some other 3-letter agencies? Oh, that's interesting.
Alpha Alpha what? Betty's? Alpha Betty's? Oh, is that what you are?
I'm a
I dig that freaking 12. I like it so much I've like put it on my videos and everything. It's almost like my trademark.
yeah. No, it does. It is good. Yeah, maybe I'm with the DOD. Maybe I'm DHS or DEA or DOE.
DOE? Dead on arrival?
No, DOE, not DOA.
Oh, oh.
I could be
Act
KGB.
like Madonna. You like me. You really like me.
Did you say Madonna?
That's what she says. Act like Madonna.
No,
You like me. You
that's
really
not
like me.
Madonna. That's a trivia question though. Who is that? That's not Madonna. That's famous for that quote. You like me. You
Heather
really like
says,
me.
oh gosh, don't say you're Homeland Security.
Actually, I've done some video work for Homeland Security. Contract work through another contractor for them.
Well,
So that actually 12 gauge. That's you like me. You really like me as an actress.
You like me? You
She
really,
was
really like?
she was brunette. Um, I don't want to give away too many clues, but uh, she was riding around fast in a Trans Am. I'm trying to be as vague as possible with also giving
Sally
info.
Fields.
There
Sally
you go.
Fields.
There you go.
Okay. So you're saying that there's a chance.
There's a chance.
What movie is that, y'all? So you're saying there's a chance. Can y'all guess that movie?
Play a clip of it and see if you get straight.
No. No.
Come on.
No. No. Not a chance in hell, Jeff.
Doesn't bother me none.
I bet it doesn't.
Or what is that? You know that George Thorogood song? What's that phrase he uses? That don't befront me.
It
What
don't.
is what does befront mean?
I
Befront.
don't know.
That don't befront me.
Sometimes people make up words, you know. I'm not old enough to know. Yes, you are. Since nobody's guessing, that is Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying that there's a chance. PKC said Smokey and the Bandit. You're right. I'll make up words. Okay. Any other quote, Jeff? Let's give the audience something else.
All right, I got one.
Okay.
This one might be too. This wait, I just want to get it right.
What we have here is a failure to communicate.
That's a good one.
What is that? Johnny, get your gun.
That's you know, I've often thought I thought it wrong. I thought that was actually also Smoking the Bandit, and I thought it was Buford T. Justice, but he says something similar. But that's with Paul Newman, and they're like on a chain gang, right? So, and then right after what we have here, and it's the way he says it too. What we have here is a failure to communicate.
Yeah, Cool
Some
Hand
men you just can't reach.
Yeah, Cool Hand Luke. You're right.
That's it.
Hey, you coming back up? How about this one? You sure do have a pretty mouth. Squeal like a pig. Come on, boy. Squeal like a pig.
Now we know what kind of movies you watch. No, I know what that movie is. How about this one? A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
I don't have a clue.
It's funny, that quote comes to mind whenever we're discussing like a car going in the wrong direction at the wrong time. That quote comes to mind for some reason.
Say that again? What's the
All
quote?
right. A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
I don't have a clue.
That was uttered by Gandalf.
Oh.
Am I showing my nerdiness?
That's Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah. I would have never known which of them it is, but apparently it's the... Wait, no, that can't be right. The Art of the Return of the King. Oh, they're quoting Peter Jackson. I guess he... What's one of them?
You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls.
Oh, what is that?
Y'all know that one, guys?
Smalls. Can I cheat in Google?
Anybody know that one?
Oh, man, I've heard that a million times. I can't think of it.
Nope. Sandlot.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Sandlot.
Oh, is that with the dog where they said sick balls? And the dog
No,
would attack that. What's that?
that's
Another
Stand
movie?
by Me. That's Stand by Me.
Oh, that's right. It's similar, and it's similar to Goonies. See, they're all in the same realm.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I like the Goonies.
How about
You guys see?
How about this quote right here? Actually, between two people, he says, "He's black. Go on. He's bald. Does he look like a bitch?" What? Do you know what that's from?
You're gonna get me banned, Jeff. Damn it.
What? That's just I'm quoting a movie. You know I don't cuss. I only cuss when I'm quoting a movie. That's the only way I can get away with it.
What? Say that again one more time without laughing. Come on.
What? The quote?
Yes.
All right. I'll play out the scene close as I can. He's
Hold on.
black.
We got an answer. Pulp Fiction.
There you go.
Can I get a Royale with cheese?
There was somewhere not too long ago where I tried to work into the conversation. Does he look like a bitch? It just happened to fit the conversation. I was like, oh man, I love that movie.
Truth says, Jeff, how about Tutti fucking Fruity?
Oh man, I don't know that one.
How about
Wait, we gotta figure out. Well, Truth will answer it. I don't know. I give up on that one.
that what we got here is a failure to communicate is also on Guns N' Roses Civil War song.
Right.
Off the Use Your Illusion 1. Civil
Were you a
War.
big Guns N' Roses fan? Didn't they have people standing in line when they had those two CDs? Yeah. Is that Use Your Illusion? One was
yeah, 1 and 2.
Similar design but different colored CD covers.
Yes.
How about this one? You'll never get this one.
They were good, but I mean, Appetite for Destruction was their best album ever. Like, it's kind of like he let the fame get to his head and the creativeness left him for some reason. Don't you like clowns? Don't we make you laugh?
I love that line. You're gonna need a bigger boat. Oh, Devil. So that was from Devil's Rejects. Oh yeah.
How about
this one? You'll never guess this one.
How about this fucking sucks? Like we've landed on the planet of. I can't even remember the rest of it. It's off Step Brothers. Have you seen that? Boats and Hoes.
Yeah. Oh man, what was the?
Heather's talking about Mr. Wallace only likes to be Miss Wallace. So why you treat him like a bitch?
Yes, you did, Brett. Yes, you did.
Oh my gosh.
There's this passage I got memorized. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities, something else of evil men. That's all I remember.
Wow.
You know, that's actually not a direct quote from the Bible. That was it was derived from a quote, but it's not the actual quote.
Yeah.
How about this one? I'm king of the world.
Let me Google that.
I hear Nanook breathing behind me. I think he wants to guess. What movie is it, boy? What movie is it? Bark twice for Titanic.
Yeah, Titanic.
Mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
Oh, Jeff. Here's a simple one. May the force be with you.
That's the one I was just going to say earlier, and I thought, oh, that's too easy. Or how about there's no place like home?
May the force be with you.
You probably did the same Google search.
Probably so.
Is the second one "There's No Place Like Home"?
Yes.
I'm King of the World. The third one.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you did the same Google search.
It's
Imagine
alive.
that. What's the chances we would both type movie quotes into Google? What are the chances? So you're saying there's a chance.
The biasness of it all. I'll be back. My precious.
What about this is one that me and my friend when I was working with him in New Orleans, we were kept bringing this one up. It was so funny. Anytime you could figure out a way to use it creatively in a conversation, but he'd be like, "Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby? Don't you put that on me?" Do you know that one?
Yeah. Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You know, laughter is the best medicine.
Yep.
It really is. I mean, sometimes life is too serious. You do need to laugh. I gotta get this quote because that's one of my favorite lines right there, where it says, "Why are you so sweaty? I was watching Cops." I'm not gonna call him Dad. Brennan, you're 39 years old. I wouldn't expect you to call him Dad. Well, I'm not going to ever, even if there's a fire.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. That's why I was looking for. I was looking to see if Texas Ranger was here. But remember those two kids in Talladega Nights? They're like, "Shut up, Chip, or I'll go ape shit on your ass. I'm gonna scissor kick you in the back of the head."
Wow. I can't even read that one because it has some stuff in there. Your drummer's a whore. I teabagged your drums. My drums. Or it says your drum set's a whore. I teabagged your drum set. My drum set's a guy, so it makes you gay, you fucker. Wow. Robert better not get in my face because I'll drop that motherfucker. Jesus, Brennan. Yeah, I better stop reading these. I'll probably get in trouble with them.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake, right? Shake and
bake, brother.
Do you guys like Step Brothers? Have you seen that movie with Will Ferrell?
I think I may have only seen that once. I might have to check it out again.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking funny, man. And there's another one that he's in where he goes back to college. I don't know what that one's called. I don't know. Will Ferrell.
Not Old School. No, that was a different movie.
Will Ferrell always likes to strip down to his whitey tighties for some reason. That is just like MO.
Yeah, I know there's some people that don't like him, but man, he knows how to make me laugh. It's just I get that humor. It's like I don't know if it's
hey, absolutely. Thing. Thank you for being here. Gladiator was mine. Okay, Gladiator was a good movie. Nina, you ruined it. You said the Titanic sinks.
Everything the same? Yeah. Can you put the other one in the fridge if he's not coming down to eat it?
So Dad's high off carbs and sugar. Gage, get Jeff to email me when y'all get free time. I have to go take care of my 18-year-old doggy. Okay, we'll do. Did you get that, Jeff?
No, tell me. Tell me what she said. What did she say? What did she say?
Nina.
Tell me.
Email Nina when you get a chance.
This is it's like one of the situations when you got three friends and they're fighting. It's like, well, hey, tell him that I'm right here. You could tell me. No, you tell. 12
No,
gauge, you tell him to email
you
me.
tell, you tell Jeff.
You see it, right?
Yeah, you see it, don't you?
You know, I didn't want to
So
say
Jeff,
anything while what's his name? Tommy was featuring this thing on over on his show, but that's over now, so it's not. But they were focusing on a video that was posted recently by. You ever hear of Roz Knight?
no.
No. Well, Roz Knight put a video out. There's this little moment in time on the 1320 Linda Lane camera. And they basically did a video where they claim that these are the words that they hear being said, you know, something about like, you know, don't do that or I'll shoot, you know, it's something to do like that. And when I heard it, I said, I'm sitting here thinking it's like I could use a break from the work I'm doing for the moment, and so I pulled the clip up that I've got of that. It's 150, something like 156:46. So I ran it, put it through Adobe Premiere, got the sound, I think, sounding, you know, much better and louder. So I just posted it to my YouTube channel tonight. So I didn't even put in there any guesses like what I think's being said, because I really can't make it out. But I mean, maybe somebody can. So it's just a short little thing. So check it out and see.
So are you like hinting for me to play that? Is that what you're doing right now?
Only if you want to, or if, you know.
Are you gaslighting me right now?
Why don't you just pull it up?
Where is it at? It says 1320 Linda Lane.
Yeah, that's it. It should be right there, the featured.
Oh, the 19 second one? Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You see it, right? Okay, guys, we're going from dogs to movies to Linda Lane. I used to like when DJ did that. He'd get all up in his microphone and be like, he'd say something. He'd be like, you get what I'm saying, right, Jeff?
I wonder what Linda Lane is named after. It was probably like a nice little road name until this.
So here we go, guys. Y'all put your headphones on, crank up your sound. I guess we're listening for something. I don't know.
There's some voices.
Honestly, I don't hear shit but like growling.
I think some of I think the sound gets a little confused, because if you listen closely, I think what we're hearing also is echoes of everything. So it's like you hear that rhythm, like blah, 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 blah. I think that's echoing sounds of. So it's hard to really tell what's being said. But this is, I think, much louder than what the way Roz had it. So I think hopefully this will make it easier for those that have good ears, better than mine, to.
Texas is here. Bunch of drunk kids, he says.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it make sense that sound would be coming from an apartment upstairs where the camera is?
Well, what's interesting is that sound at that time is picked up better on the 1320 camera by the dumpster than the 1330 camera. So, that tells me this sound is even further away from the murder house.
But that was supposed to come from the murder house?
You know what you could do if you want. I mean, I felt like, I didn't want.
I'm just confused. I didn't watch his live, so I don't know.
Yeah, no. He featured this video that Roz's video is short as well, but Roz put on the screen what I'm assuming Roz, I guess, is a woman. I don't want to guess that wrong. Not in these times, but Roz put what the words that they were hearing It's two sets of words, but I don't know.
What if
I
I
now that
what if I slow it down?
try it, try it.
Does it just make it less
Sometimes that
audible?
could make it easier to hear something, but sometimes it can make it worse. I don't know.
Let's see.
Wait, I think you actually sped it up.
What?
Yeah, I think you sped it up instead of slowed it down. Yeah,
No,
there
my
you go.
bad. All
You
I
ever use
hear in
these
the
YouTube
beginning
controls
is
before?
all I hear is what, and then it's like I mean I don't know. Hold on, here we go.
Yeah, I think the loud sounds are probably like a door or something. I mean, it's highly exaggerated because the if you just watch the actual clip itself, I didn't even hear it because it was I didn't even that's why I didn't ever even notice it because that volume is so low. So, boosting it up, and I
Did you
you
see
know
what I did there? I hit the like button. I gave your video a
oh,
like.
thank you. I'm on my way.
Was
I'm
it
on my way.
33? Now it's at 34. Have you hit a like?
Sweet.
Have you guys hit the like button in the last 5 minutes or in the last 2 hour and 32 minutes that you've been in here? Come on. Show me some love. I don't
What is?
really get into the audio or visual effects that people see or hear. I can't do it. I mean, I don't know if it's that just how my brain's not wired or whatever, but I just can't really see or hear what people are telling me to see or hear, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's so hard to. I mean, the things that you can definitely make out are like there's that moment where somebody's singing a John Denver song. That's pretty clear. You can make out the melody.
Yeah, I
But
could hear that. I could
you know
hear
what's
that.
interesting though, and I'm sure it doesn't surprise you. But so I was very aware that there's a male voice singing, "Take me home, country roads to the place I belong." Um,
Don't you give me a copyright singing it on tune.
oh, I know I sang it so perfectly, right?
Well, you
No, but it
did go.
didn't. It didn't take long for somebody to claim. Now that's Ethan. That's Ethan singing. It's like, oh, okay, okay, wow, super sleuth. How do you possibly know that?
I thought she smoked 2 packs at a time. Wow. I don't know who you're talking about, Texas, but that's funny. 2 packs of cigarettes at a time. Jesus.
It's Texas Ranger.
Country
Let's
road. You know who I haven't seen in a while? Jeremiah.
Oh
Jeremiah,
yeah,
if you're out there, if you're watching on replay, I hope everything's all right, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while. Jeremiah Sutton.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Yeah. My lighting is on point tonight. You notice that?
Let me see. Let me see. You know what? I wonder if StreamYard gives me this. I don't know that it's a virus, but I haven't seen this in maybe a week. But I put something. I'm trying to go to a website, and it's like I hit enter, and it starts to go where it's supposed to go, and then all of a sudden it goes to like a Yahoo search engine. It's like it takes over my browser.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was wondering that, Heather, because I mean, he's pretty regular on the chats. I mean, but I mean, I guess maybe he got a different job or something. Maybe he's not able to be on chats as much as before. Truth says she found out she was allergic to alcohol. You break out in handcuffs? I only walked on the weekend. I only worked on the weekend, so. Oh, slave to the
Oops.
grind.
was trying to find
Jeffrey.
out. We were just looking at the quotes earlier from Talladega Nights. I saw Texas Rangers here. What's the other kid's name in the Talladega Nights? Texas Ranger and Walker? No.
Is that where he got the name?
Well, I assume Texas Ranger for the movie came from. Well, both names I think are from a TV show, right? Texas Ranger,
Yeah,
Walker.
Walker, Texas Ranger. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. So yeah, he just took the title of the show, split it in half, and that's the two kids'
Yeah.
names. One's Walker, one's
Yeah,
Texas
Walker,
Ranger.
Texas Ranger.
There you go.
I don't even know where I got my moniker from.
What, 12 gauge? That's
Yeah,
not your
one
real
day.
name?
No. Surprise? Jeff H. Isn't your real name?
My mama named me after a number.
12 is my real name, damn it. That would be cool, though. What's your name, boy? 12. Actually, a 12 gauge is a vicious shotgun, man. It'll
12
put a
gauge,
nice little
yeah.
hole in you.
You ever used to watch Benny Hill? The Benny Hill show? The British
No,
comedian?
that's before my time.
It just made me think of it with the number 12 because there's a skit where he's in a bar and he's got his beer and he's like swinging it around. He says 21 today, 21 today, and somebody says, "Hey, happy birthday!" and he buys him a beer, sets it down. It's like 22 today, 22 today. It wasn't his birthday at all. You get it? See,
It just turns me real weird when I try to drink it. I guess they're talking about drinking in the chat. Somebody said Jaeger made him sick. I used to drink Jaeger bombs, but now they're pretty nasty.
Hey, I'll be right back.
All right, black licorice is nasty. You're right, Heather. Jaeger was good once you already had a buzz, though. I only see one member of the 12 gang, and that is Texas Ranger. When are some of you going to buy some membership, man? Come on. Members only need to grow. That way I can put some new perks up. It's not expensive. For a mere cost of $1.99, that is cheaper than a pack of gum. Once a month. Come on, y'all can do this. Are y'all listening to me? Is this thing on?
Cheaper than a pack of gum.
Yeah, cheaper than a pack of gum. It really is. Gum is like $3.99 to $4 nowadays.
You're trying to keep up with packs of cigarettes, right?
Yeah. I think a pack of cigarettes is like $8. I'm not a smoker, so I don't know. I don't even know if people really smoke natural cigarettes anymore. What people vape. Yeah, but can we chew you? I guess if you're into that. It tastes like tortillas and cheese, I guess. I don't know. Oh my god. Hey, you get some juicy insight on the mind of 12 gauge on those members only. They're really pretty fun. The last one we had was fun until I played
Oh, the movie clips.
the Raising Arizona clip, and that did it. That did it. It kind of blew a fuse on the YouTube world. Oh, I see you changed your thing.
Yeah, and my quote.
What's it say? Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Nice. I don't even know what to put under mine, like, without being offensive, People get offensive. offended really easily now. I had someone who'd never been through it tell me how opiate withdrawals is only like the flu. My ass. Oh, I hear an echo. Is that coming from your mic or mine?
Must be yours. I got headphones on, so it couldn't be me.
How
Yeah,
can
what
I
I
be?
found if to get the best sound, I think you want to have echo cancellation turned off, and you want to be sure to have headphones so that the only sound that the mic picks up is your actual voice. No other speaker
Well,
sounds.
I have echo cancellation off.
You have it
Maybe
off? Well,
my
actually,
mic
but
is-
if you're not using headphones, then that's where echo cancellation off can be a problem. Because the echo cancellation turned on is going, it's like it knows your real voice from the voices coming out of your speakers.
How about now?
But if you use headphones and you turn it off,
Everything went like silent once I.
it's really low now.
Hold on.
There's a
Sorry, guys.
there's a friend I got on he's I guess he developed a habit on StreamYard, playing the guitar and stuff. Like things will be fine, and then he'll touch something, and then it's like messed up, and he's like, so everybody's like, the theme of the night is always like, don't touch nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. Can y'all hear me now? Is that coming across okay? Not too loud.
I hear you.
Okay, I
But
might turn down.
those little bits of noise and sound, I think, are me coming through your speakers into your mic. What if I get close? Can you hear it? Blah, 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 blah. Blah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh no. I can't even make that sound. I was gonna make that sound that I was laughing about the other day.
I say, I'm the king of rock. There is none higher. Sucker MCs should call me sire.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I used
I
to listen
almost
to it
did
a little
something,
bit.
Jeff. I had to put my hands in my pocket to keep me from being offensive, I just almost remember what we were laughing about the other day? About as soon as you start your live stream, you should check your surroundings. Almost did it.
Who are you kidding? You didn't put your hand in your pockets. You're not wearing pants. We all know. You do lives without pants.
I'm wearing shorts, so yeah, you're right. I'm not wearing pants. Yeah, at Applebee's, I had chicken tenders.
Oh yeah, from Applebee's?
No, from this chicken place. It was pouring down rain, and the girl's taking her time taking my order in the drive-through, and I'm sitting there getting soaked.
Yeah.
Like, gosh.
Yeah, we get a lot of rain lately.
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything else to talk about. I feel like we're just sitting here just rambling.
You want me to play Dust in the Wind?
No. No, I'm good. I'm totally good.
Totally good.
Don't play anything that's noticeable, damn it.
No, the guitar is tuned like way down to like C sharp anyway. I don't know.
I broke up with my wife today. She gave me a mysterious illness along the way. She had this furry look about her. Most of the time I didn't know what to say. I broke up with my wife today. She gave me something I could not wipe away. I'm just sitting here not really knowing what to say. I broke up with wife today. She left me with these kids and all the bills. Just don't know how I'll make it through. I filed for divorce, broke up with her too. I'll do the best that I can as I sing these blues. I broke up with my wife today. That's about all that I gotta say. I broke up with my wife today. That's all I got to say. Wow. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That was fun. We should
Oh.
we should go find a corner with a hat or a guitar case opened up on there and get some dollar bills. And
I just keep I have to stop from trying to laugh while I'm doing this. It's hard, you know. I just have to think about apples and oranges.
yeah, how I don't know how rappers do it. I mean, that's you got to be thinking really fast. Especially, I mean, stuff that's just improvised.
I think I'm on mute. The chat didn't even miss a beat. They're talking about drugs and alcohol. They didn't even miss a beat.
They probably think they're on drugs. I think I'm on drugs. I hear it sounds like 12
It
gauge.
sounds like somebody's trying to sing. What is that? I'll be pissed off if I get a copyright on that, Jeff.
You don't have to worry about that. See, it's in the wrong key, so they won't. How about it?
Lightspeed playing through the ballad.
You recognize that one?
Kinda.
That's an old one.
Kinda.
That's
Well, bro, I'm gonna have to cut it down. I gotta take myself to bed. Like I said, tomorrow's a new day, a new work day.
You gotta work.
Yeah. I gotta get back on my routine. I've enjoyed having you up here. Maybe later in the week we can continue this to mess around with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Entertain these folks. Hey, it's like I'm talking to the crowd, but the crowd's like having a conversation in the corner. They're drinking all together. You know what I mean? And thank you so much for showing up tonight. Thank you very much. Oh. Right?
Yeah, no, that's when the band plays. Sometimes we've had that experience where like three people, one person maybe listening.
Yeah, it's like
you come to the end of the song, you're like, and then you hear somebody say, "Hey, where's the restroom? It's in the back."
Oh my gosh. Well, you guys in the chat, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope you guys continue to show up. And if anything, can, get together and have yourself an awesome time while either myself or some other panel guests are up here entertaining you for the evening.
Trying to give you like mood music for what you're saying.
I just don't have words right now. I'm just like, I don't know. It's been a hell of a day. Can't do it. I can't even think it right now. You guys have an awesome night. I'll catch you around soon. Thank you, Nina, if you're listening. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. The rest of you, keep coming back, keep showing up, keep giving the channel your love, support. Keep yourself safe, be vigilant out there. Jeff, if you want to wait around a minute after I sign off.
Sure.
You know, Maestro, cue the music.
Like you, be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one, only one. I was an ordinary boy until I broke the rules. My life destroyed, life destroyed. Until I walk awake, scream my mind, I shout, the ground shakes. How much can I take? My mind will break. Will it break? Can I take? Can I be your superhero?